A very warm welcome to all our viewers. Welcome to the Sentinels Newsmakers. My guest now is the Deputy Commissioner of Lakhimpur, Mr. Jeevan B. Mr. Jeevan, welcome to the Sentinels Newsmakers. Thank you so much for making out time to join me in this new series of ours where we are allowing our viewers, people of Assam, to meet and know more about their deputy commissioners. So, Mr. Jeevan, of course, tough times for
Thank you,
every
Ajay.
deputy. Pleasure. So, definitely tough times for every deputy commissioner at this point of time. How are you coping with the COVID situation in Lakhimpur?
The situation of COVID has been evolving over a period of time. So, since it began in the month of March, the health infrastructure has been ramped up significantly. So, we almost have a capacity of around 250 beds in our isolation centers and six ventilators and almost 400 in the COVID care centers.
Hmm.
Initially, we were screening at the borders all the passengers who were coming from outside the state. Those were coming by buses, trains, and by uh, at the
Hmm.
airports. But
Mhm.
right now, along with this, we have an additional challenge. We are also taking up surveillance through the rapid antigen tests in the
Right.
marketplaces, in the existing containment areas, and also sometimes in the containment areas which are previously existing but currently denotified. So our
Right.
emphasis is to catch the cases early, so
Right.
that we can trace the contacts and then try to test them further. And in case of any large congregation of cases in a particular area, we're going for containment in that particular ward or villages. So that has been our strategy for now. And
Mhm.
for that, we have around 23 mobile teams. Those we have for testing through rapid antigen tests. And we have three teams which
Mhm.
are fixed and which are testing for RT-PCR. So
Right.
currently, if you summarize the testing strategy, I can say there are three categories basically. Those people who are coming from outside and who require confirmatory tests.
Mhm.
So for those people who are testing both rapid antigen tests and in case they turn out to be negative under the antigen test, then we go for the RT-PCR test. And the second category is for the contacts of close contacts of the positive patients, those who tested positive in the either rapid antigen test or
Mhm.
RT-PCR.
Mhm.
For them, we are testing both rapid antigen tests and RT-PCR. And the third category is general surveillance in the market areas and
Right.
in the crowded areas,
Yeah.
and in places where we suspect that the transmission of COVID might take place.
Mhm.
Since Lakhimpur is more of a rural setting, there are
Yeah.
not many places like that, fortunately. So we have four urban local bodies and some prominent rural hearts,
Mhm.
uh, to name them around 18 to 20 of them that we have. So
Yeah.
those places, our mobile teams go and during the daytime and test the shopkeepers and the frequenters over there.
Mhm.
And in case of any positive patients, like I explained earlier, in case of any
Yeah.
cluster there, we're closing the markets. Say,
Okay.
for example, yesterday we got around 28 cases at Dakokana market, but and today we closed on the entire market.
Mhm.
So that uh, for closing the market for a week might definitely interrupt the chain of transmission. So
Right.
currently we had around 800 cases, and God's grace and fortunately, all of them, most of them are recovered. Almost 500 of them are recovered, and we have around 300 active cases.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we had one case of COVID death.
Yes.
He had comorbidities. He had
Right.
liver
Okay.
issues, so
Mhm.
he died even before reaching the hospital. And on testing later, it turned out to be positive. So we can say that the progression must have been quite rapid in that particular case.
Right.
And otherwise, when it comes to health infrastructure, it has
Mhm.
been ramped up considerably, very significantly
Okay.
indeed.
Okay.
So we have we never had any Ventimpur earlier, but currently we have well-trained team and 6 and we have an ambulance, an advanced life support ambulance to transport with the ventilator and oxygen support any patient requiring advanced medical care to
Okay.
places like either
I would request you to
Dibrugarh or
repeat that.
Guwahati.
Mr. Jeevan, I would request you to repeat that bit because
And
there's a bit of a signal problem there, a snag.
yeah, sure. So I was saying,
Yeah.
in terms of health infrastructure, it has been ramped up significantly,
Yeah.
and as of now, we are being able to cater to the patient load as well as the number of. And we have a Facebook page for the COVID care centers and for the COVID hospitals. Any feedback from the patients we are receiving through the Facebook page, and we have a dedicated COVID care call center manned by 4 health department officials. So they call up the positive COVID positive patients and check with them if they have any issues with the logistics in the centers and whether they are receiving adequate care, and if they have any issues, so that any issues they can be flagged to us quite early and then we can take care of it to rectify. And we are also talking to the patients who are coming from outside and who are under home quarantine, and we are calling them and motivating them and explaining to them the significance of isolation and home quarantine during this intervening period of 10 days.
Right.
And we are asking them whether they have a number of rooms for isolation, and if they don't have enough number of rooms, we are trying to talk to the local GP presidents, and we had arranged a lot of isolation facilities at the GP levels a couple of months back, and those facilities are coming to optimum use right now. So they're being taken care by the local people themselves. I mean, those people who tested negative but still advised home quarantine, but they don't have enough number of rooms at their houses.
Right.
They're being taken care of at village level by the community themselves.
Yes. So the Gao Panchayats coming forward and helping in the management of the COVID situation there. Now, like you said, we all know Lakhimpur is predominantly rural, has a rural setup. So does that mean it has really, compounded your challenges of the healthcare facilities reaching the people in the far-flung areas? Because I'm sure the road condition also must be not that great.
That way, we have only 3 river areas which are little difficult to reach. Otherwise, pretty much the entire district has been covered optimally, at least in order to reach the habitations in the previous PMGSY 2.0.
Yeah.
And I can say that our Ashas have been doing tremendous job. So we had 2 rounds of some community surveillance program, and I am amazed by the resilience and the willpower and the motivation that field level officials have displayed. And time and again, we make it a point to felicitate and to appreciate that. And doing the community surveillance program in the first phase, we did not have any issues, but in the second phase, managed to detect a couple of ILI cases who eventually turned out to be COVID positive. That way, I can say that our field level functionaries are doing quite well. Even now, when we call the home quarantine people through our call center, they do inform about the visits of the Ashas. Yes, of course, there will be a couple of places where it's difficult to reach, but we have another system, parallel system of Gaon Buras. We have a lot of field level functionaries basically through various departments. Anganwadis we have Gaon Buras. Every village has a Gaon Bura. That's a traditional system that we have in Assam. So that is they're basically revenue functionaries. So if not Asha, either it's Gaon Bura or Anganwadi or the village level committees that we had notified earlier. So the information is coming to us some other way. So and also we had circulated widely a 1077 emergency number. So any information that we are getting through those numbers. So basically, the idea is to activate multiple channels of communication so that if
Right.
one fails, the multiple other channels which are available for the people to reach out to the administration or the health department.
Yes.
This
Okay.
strategy has been quite useful till now.
Right. All right. Now, COVID, yes, you seem to have, kind of taken into account most of the challenges, and things seem to be working fine. Till a few days back, I think flood also was causing a lot of misery for the people of Lakhimpur. So, what is the situation right now? And what about few critical embankments in certain areas like Bhimpara and all? I think there the situation was pretty critical.
Yes, in fact, we had unprecedented floods in the last. This is the highest flood level that we achieved in the last. We had in the last decade.
Yeah.
So there was considerable suffering. So we tried our best to reach out to them in terms of relief. And related to the embankments, so we did come across a couple of vulnerable places like Bhimpara and in Gansara and Nawali in Lakhimpur Circle. So, but fortunately, there had been some works which are already done in those areas, either
Okay.
through Water Resource Department or through the convergence between Panchayat and Water Resource Departments, where
Yeah.
Water Resource Department had contributed in terms of bamboo and materials, and Panchayat Department contributed in terms of labor.
Right.
So that happened only in Lakhimpur district this time. So that was allowed, especially because Lakhimpur is a flood affected district.
Yes.
And we did manage to save the embankments this time. In fact, Water Resource Department and local people, uh, it was a joint efforts from all
Okay.
sectors, all
Right.
sides, and none of the embankments suffered erosion except for one place in Sanimara Ghat, where that embankment had to be shifted. In fact, and again, our departments have. Hello.
Yeah. They
Yeah.
have managed to give. Yeah.
Now they've done a good job till now,
Yeah. Okay.
and those places already have approved SDRF scheme. So the works will be executed once the flood waters recede. So the works couldn't be done because of the water levels were quite high, and it's of no use in terms of achieving the desired siltation and erosion protection if the works are undertaken during the flood times. So
Okay.
once in the month of October, probably they might start the work again.
Right. What about areas like Nahoroni, then Gunakhutti? Because I believe there have been a lot of flooding in those areas. Many families, they have been, running from one place to another, trying to find better shelter from the waters there. So, what is being done for those families, those areas, basically?
Right. So we have three Gram Panchayats, which are riverine in nature, which are basically little inaccessible. Gunahuti,
Right.
Puptalai, and Lord Kabalu. So in these areas, we had some issues this time because the water levels were beyond the danger level. So we did manage to provide them some relief, but there is more work which is needed to be done in terms of mitigation. In fact, we had taken up a lot of mitigation works in the last couple of years. So we have built around 120 raised platforms and shelters over the platforms,
Okay.
and that is meant for basically supporting the animals during the flood times, and sometimes people also take shelter over there. And we have notified around 315 relief camps. But in these areas, these three riverine areas, there is a requirement for more shelter, which we have taken note of, and we are working through 14 Finance Commission funds under NGNREGA. In
Okay.
convergence mode, we are trying to take up more mitigation works in those areas. In fact, we had piloted one unique initiative that is called community-based disaster risk reduction strategy, where the community himself takes the onus for the mitigation measures. So there, under this pilot, all the presidents and secretaries have been trained in disaster mitigation and relief measures, and they have been taught how to identify the places for the raised embankment and where to construct emergency toilets and drinking water points, pinpoints where they need to be identified, and setting up durable assets so that they come for use even during inundation. So
Right.
that planning stage is completed right now. We took 1.5 to 2 years to identify the places and conduct multiple rounds of consultations with the stakeholders and finalization of the plans. So we will be in a position to implement it from this October onwards once the
All
floodwaters
right.
recede.
Right.
And
Right.
I hope that should mitigate the problems of the people, at least in terms of shelter, drinking water, access to toilets, and shelter to the livestock during the flood times, because these areas traditionally get inundated. In fact, every year they get inundated because they're living in between the riverine areas, in between the rivers, river channels. So there is bound to be inundation for a couple of for weeks. In fact, at least for a few weeks every year in those areas.
Right. Okay. Now, I believe there's also this additional problem of water coming in from Arunachal, flowing down from Arunachal. So, anything being done, either I mean, some solution to that problem?
Yes, there are totally 23 rivers in Lakhimpur district, and only Subansiri and Dikrong are the category A rivers along with Brahmaputra. Otherwise, rest of them, Ranga Nadi and one more major river, they're category B, and rest all are category C. That is, when I say category C, they're all rivulets, which cause flash floods when during the rainy season. These are all water flowing down from Arunachal Pradesh. Since Assam, basically, Lakhimpur itself is a valley, all these rivulets ultimately drain to either Subansiri or Dikrong or Brahmaputra, ultimately. So the issue is there have been small agreements, they call it agreements, small embankments built along the banks of these rivers. And it depends. The flood water varies. In fact, you cannot precisely expect or analyze how much water is going to flow down. It all depends on the rainfall in the hills. So sometimes you can never plan for that. It is sudden, very sudden, and in a few hours the entire water drains and creates erosion in couple of or breach in couple of places. This time it happened in three rivulets. We had breaches, and we had to wait till the water recedes, and then we had to plug the breaches. That's been going on. So right now we are thinking of one more strategy. We have identified and we have piloted one biological initiative. So on the river, Dikrong River bank, as well as in the inter areas, it's called Kuryajan. So there we experimented with vetiver, and they call it locally Padumtul. There's another plant species.
Okay.
So these two species have very deep roots, and they hold the soil tight. In fact, we have been discussing with our commissioner of disaster management also. So he's quite interested. We are trying to pilot it, and if it succeeds, then it might be taken up in a larger scale.
Right.
So right now we have taken up one area, and we require 4 more months to see the results in that area.
Okay. All right.
So
Interesting.
I hope that
Yeah.
that's going to be more sustainable instead of going for more material like either porcupine or geobags. So biological methods are more sustainable in the long term.
Right. Okay. Also, in what about some of the central schemes like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and all? Why I mentioned this is because there are certain areas like Hilikaguri and places like that where I believe the people they really have a lot of housing issues. So what about schemes like Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana and also like the Atal Amrit Abhiyan, Ayushman Bharat? So what about the implementation of schemes like these?
Yes, I would like to comment on this. In fact, the coming phase of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Gramin. So we have around 87,000 houses freshly surveyed and which might get sanctioned in this current year.
Okay.
So I know this specifically this Ilikabari case. So those houses are already surveyed and they are part of the phase three.
All
So
right.
phase three is in the coming 87,000 that I mentioned. So we had this issue earlier. So a fresh survey was done across the district, and we had identified all the gaps wherever the people are missed out of Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana.
Yeah.
And after that survey, that list of people was submitted to the government, and it's already approved. So
Okay.
the implementation will be started in a phased manner. So there, I think most of the beneficiaries will be covered in in that coming
Right.
phase.
Right.
And uh, in the initial phase, we covered basically the ST population and SC population. So I can say most of the missing population is all, I mean, who live in the riverine areas.
Right.
So they are also get affected mostly by the floods. So I think in the further stages and previously also many people already benefited. This
Yeah.
issue of housing in the flood affected areas should see some respite in the coming days.
All right. Wonderful. That's really nice to hear. Uh, um, what about the road infrastructure in your district?
Sorry, I could not hear you.
The road infrastructure, particularly the stretch of road that is known as the College Road. If you can hear me, the the road
Yes, yes.
infrastructure. Yeah.
In fact, I must say 2 years back or just, yeah, I completed 2.5 years here.
Yes.
So when I came initially, the condition of roads in many places I could notice, and right now after 2.5 years I can notice the marked improvement. That's because of various schemes taken up under either PMJSY and also SFPD, and I can see the Lakhimpur town itself. It had very bad roads initial days, and if anybody comes to Lakhimpur right now, so they'll notice that almost all the roads are paved. They're covered by blocks right now. So we are seeing the visible progress, and PMGSY 3 survey has already been completed. PMGSY 3
Okay.
especially is meant to connect all the markets, educational institutions. So the KML file, which they call the format, that has already been submitted. That is after marking all the important landmarks like educational institutions, high
Yeah.
schools, primary schools, markets, all of them have been marked and the roads have been identified and submitted. The idea is to cover up all the places where the access to these institutions are ensured.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now, the drugs issue the drug menace seem to be rearing its ugly head in Lakhimpur. Uh,
Yes, yes, I understand that. So from our side and from police, so we have launched a lot of drives in this regard. So we also recently had a case which is registered where an ambulance was
yes.
trying to smuggle drugs. Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically, right now we have launched a drive and we have passed on our numbers, phone numbers, and 222 961. We have also circulated our landline-based WhatsApp numbers, Facebook page, Twitter page, and we have sought help from the community. And
Yeah.
in case anybody is having any information about such drug smugglings
Yeah.
or sale of drugs peddling. So there have been, we in fact, on a personal number also many times I receive messages. So we are taking it seriously. We are acting it strongly against the drugs.
Yeah.
So we are seeking more support from the community basically in this regard.
Right. Right. And the vigil has been stepped up at the entry exit points as well, I'm sure.
Yeah,
So,
checking is going on because
right.
right now inter-district is also banned, prohibited. So
Yes.
until there is an
Yes.
emergency reason for that, that's also
Right.
prohibited.
Right, right, right. And finally, would want to hear from you your plans, your vision for the people of your district going forward.
Surely. So, Lakhimpur basically uh, is a agrarian economy.
Mhm.
So we have plans for agriculture and horticulture and fisheries and dairy sectors.
Mhm.
And we have various schemes in this regard. So we are working hard to fit in the local agroclimatic scenarios, agroclimatic
Yeah.
zones. We have five agroclimatic zones. We are
Mhm.
trying to fit in the possibilities in these five different zones into the existing schemes and trying to work out in convergence with all the schemes because we have various schemes. We have schemes like CMSGUI, uh,
Mm.
Chief Minister's Samagra Kam Union Yojana. We have RKVY, we have National Food Security Mission, we have APART scheme, which is a World Bank sponsored scheme, and we have Rurban, that is providing rural amenities and urban areas. So, taking various schemes into consideration, the idea is to build the local agrarian economy as per the local climatic suitability
Mm.
and further step up the value chain by establishing agro-business and establishing storage facilities
Mm.
and also training people in the new technologies in the agriculture like fishery if we talk about fishery sector, so we have something called biofloc, which is
Mhm.
a very new concept. And we have something called cage culture and recirculatory aquaculture system, that is RAS. So we are introducing all these concepts into the community, and
All
we have
right.
identified people who are educated and already involved in these fishery activities. We are trying to take up certificate course through the fishery institute that we have,
Yeah.
and we are fortunate to have a veterinary college and also research station of agriculture department.
All right.
So
Yeah.
there also we are taking a lot of courses, and we are going up to the GP level. In fact, so we identified and piloted one GP, which was
Mm.
Johing GP, where there we introduced pineapple
Mm.
through MGNREGA. We identified 25 few farmers and gave them individual beneficiary schemes for pineapple plantation. And held them and so that right since inception, the pineapple cultivation is successful. And also we are going to take them along in terms
Mhm.
of post-harvest management, how
Ah.
to store the pineapple and how
Mm.
to make use of the other byproducts. It's not only the pulp, but also other byproducts are also useful in the fabric industry.
Right. Okay.
And another added feature is that we're going completely organic in this regard. Again, we have planned to set up one vermicomposting unit in each village
Mhm. Mhm.
and agri mechanization also.
Right.
So right now we have piloted it in one village in Nobasia area, where
Mm.
we have given the community one self-help group a complete set of agro machinery like a transplanter, harvester, mini rice mill,
Mm.
so that we have trained them as well. So we want to see how it works. So the community is going to make use of the common infrastructure available, common machineries
Yeah.
available by paying certain minimal rent to the SHG so that they can manage it. And we are going to watch, and then we have enough funds under 14th and 15th Finance Commission. And if it is successful, we are going to take it up across the Gaon Panchayats. Basically, the
All right.
idea is to ramp up the agricultural economy,
Mm.
add
Mm.
value into each and every sector, like
Right.
uh, organic farming,
Mm.
mechanization into farming, the new concepts available in this sector to be
Yeah.
introduced, and farmers training. All these things we are taking up. This is just about agriculture sector to begin with,
Yeah.
but I'm happy to share with you that we have registered a milk union, and the brand we are calling it Lucky Me.
Okay.
So,
All
so
right.
which is still in its inception stage, and we have
Mhm.
set up a unit. Maybe in a couple of
Yeah.
months, that brand will be launched.
Right.
Likewise, even in handloom sector, as you know, Lakhimpur is famous for muga. Lakhimpur and
Yes.
the Kokana are famous for muga. So there also we're introducing the new generation, the reeling machines, and so there are designers who are coming forward. One person was in
Okay.
Mumbai, so she is back to Lakhimpur, wants to work on muga, and
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
we are getting these CAD machines because people from Lakhimpur they had to go to Guwahati to get their
Mm-mm.
designs created at Guwahati. So
Okay.
now we have CAD machines. Common, basically, we are setting up common infrastructure for everybody to make use of.
Right.
Trying to
Okay.
introduce technology and to value into the each and everything that people are doing here.
Right. Wonderful. So wonderful things happening for Lakhimpur. So in the coming days, I'm sure we will have a whole new, much more, progressive Lakhimpur in the coming days. I'm sure you must be also focusing on the rural education for our children, because with everything going online, with so much of internet connectivity issues there, smartphones not readily available with everybody. I'm sure an administrator like you, who is so forward thinking, must have already thought on to improve the education for the rural kids as well.
That's one problem we are facing
Hmm.
right now in places where there is network accessibility.
Yeah.
So our teachers are sending videos to the children, to their parents
Okay.
to
All
good
right.
classes. So
Yes.
although the schools are closed, but our education department is still working. So
Yes.
wherever it's not accessible, they're trying to visit to the child's
Yeah.
home.
Mm-hmm.
So we monitor through WhatsApp and I get pictures. I uh, doubt the efficacy. And we may not be able to reach each and every child through this method,
Yeah.
but there might be some gaps. But at least an effort is going
Being
on
made.
through our
Yes.
education department. And
Yes.
they're working at least. That I'm happy to share that they're doing good work.
Right. Absolutely. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking to you. Thank you for sparing some time to join me on Sentinels Newsmakers. Wishing you all the best for all your initiatives. And thank you, viewers, for joining us. Till we meet
Thank
again,
you.
all of you, take care, stay safe. Goodbye.